Hello traders, this is Blake Morrow. You were listening to the Daily Roundup webinar, and just as you would expect in North American trade, we're getting a recovery. It's like happens every time. Anyway, I was actually looking at the US dollar Mexican peso kind of closely here because we should be pulling back towards these levels. This should be a pretty big support zone through here. Excuse me. Everywhere from, well, I thought we'd actually pause at 2010, all the way down to maybe 20. We stopped at the 618 retracement. You can see that, and also 127% extension. So we've come off, but we should find some support around here. I'd be paying kind of close attention to it if you are still tracking the US dollar Mexican peso. The Aussie, check this out. So the Aussie has recovered. It's actually bounced, geez, about 50 pips, right? So it's bounced about 50 pips, but still below the breakdown point. And so as long as we stay below 77.30, the Aussie's still at risk of a continuation lower. It's just we're seeing a bounce, like I said, a bounce with equities here. You know, equities are bouncing and the dollar's selling off. We see the dollar selling off against other currencies like the dollar Canadian after a rally to the 618 retracement, and again another 618 retracement, and we've pulled back. The dollar Canadian is probably going to be coming into some support around here. Let me remove this. Probably into the 127.30 level. If we can get all the way down there, that should offer some pretty good support for the dollar Canadian as we're trying to make a, build a base, like a little bit longer term turn, if you will. The euro dollar has bounced. We almost hit the 161% extension, so close to the 121.27. We've bounced, but the bounce has been, fairly mild. It hasn't been a huge bounce. Not saying that it can't build any steam, but it really is not, it's not anything to write home about if you're long the euro dollar right now. And let's talk about Bitcoin. Bitcoin has slid and hit its key support, and this is going to be very critical support for bulls. Bulls do not want to see a move below 30,000. If we see a move below 30,000 in Bitcoin, that's going to produce a move lower, in my opinion. And the reason why I'm watching it carefully, it's not because I'm trading Bitcoin, because I'm not. If we get down to 20,000, I might actually buy some. But I'm more concerned about what it might do from a correlation standpoint. If Bitcoin drops through 30,000, does it provoke some gold weakness? Because gold and Bitcoin have had a fairly good correlation as far as an inflation hedge, a hedge against an inflation hedge, a hedge against fiat currency, that type of thing. So if Bitcoin actually breaks down, does it drag down gold, and therefore the dollar starts to gain some strength as a result? That's what I'm more concerned about. That's why I'm watching it so carefully. It's not like I really want to trade it at this point. I sure as hell don't want to short Bitcoin. If I'm going to do anything, I'm going to buy it. I just, this is the place to do it if you're going to buy it here. But I'm more concerned with, what happens through 30,000 if it produces any other move. Also, we should pay attention to the US dollar Japanese yen. The US dollar Japanese yen broke this downtrend line. You can see it here. We broke this downtrend line. This is a pretty big downtrend line since June. Okay. We broke it and we're back at the breakout point. So if the dollar yen is going to gain strength, this is the place it should gain strength from. Okay. And that's why I'm paying attention to it, because this is going to have probably more to do with what's happening with yields, but it could also influence the dollar a little bit, especially if we can get a bounce. But you look at that 4-hour candle, that's a pretty ugly 4-hour candle with only 20 minutes left before this candle's formed. That's dark cloud cover. So, something to pay attention to. What else? The cables had a nice bounce. Okay, the pounds had a nice bounce from. Now that's the 200 period moving average on the 4-hour chart. That's not what I was looking at, but it did bounce from the 50% retracement. And also the dollar Canadian bounced from some horizontal support here. So that's something that I know it's bounced a little bit. The dollar. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was looking at the Canadian, but thinking about the Kiwi. The Kiwi bounced from the 50% retracement, but I still think that any move back up in the Kiwi towards 72.20 should find sellers as well. So right now, I think right now it's all about how far does the dollar sell-off extend before it finds buyers. And I think we're getting close to levels where you might start seeing dollar buyers step back in, and especially going into the end of the day, depending on what stocks do. That's really what all I'm really looking at. I think the dollar's in recovery mode. Let's just one last thing. We'll look at the dollar index. The dollar's in recovery mode, and perhaps we might get a move back down towards 90 before we continue this rally. But I think a lot of people are also looking for that. The more people that are looking for a dollar correction, maybe the less likely we're going to see it. Oh, since you guys are, I'm thinking on the face webinar, I usually like to reserve the face webinar for just, dollar pairs and not really talk about some of these crosses. But for those of you guys that are trading crosses with me, like, the Euro Aussie, for example, like the Euro Aussie, it has broke this downtrend line. It is trading a little heavy. I mean, it's not, getting any extension here. I'm really looking for a move above 158.50 before we start to see a bigger, broader recovery in the Euro Aussie. The Euro New Zealand, as trying to break this resistance, we really got to break like 170 in order for it to turn bullish here. You guys know I'm long the Euro New Zealand from the 127% extension, but in order for it to really build some momentum to the upside, we're going to need to see a break back above this 170 level. Pound Aussie, we're trying to break out of this triangle, but remember, this is a multi-year trend line here. I mean, that's from 2013 to right here. There's a lot of support down at 174. I know we're well off 174, but still, you think about this on a little bit longer term basis. We'll see if we can make a move back above 176. Above 176, it's outright bullish. From 176 to 179. Pound New Zealand, also trying to build a little bit of strength here, after making higher lows, pound New Zealand dollar above 188.50 would be pretty bullish. All right, guys. Alan says, quick look at the pound New Zealand. There you go. Hey, I was reading your mind. Not really reading your mind, but I was reading your mind, Alan. So here it is. Yeah, that needs to be taken out right there. We're right at it. But hey, Sterling's acting not so bad. It's not acting horrible here. All right. Well, guys, I want to thank you, guys and gals. Thank you so much for your continued support. Appreciate each and every one of you. And I wanted to also say, while you guys are here, in the next, especially those of you that are new and you just came in from the specials or whatever, starting around February 1st, we're going to be changing things around a little bit. Nothing's going to change for you guys other than you will be privy to information a lot of people are not. We're going to change things around with the face webinar and with my specific analysis and some specifics from the rest of the team. It's only going to be privy to ForexAnalytix subscribers. It's a little bit of a scheduling change, but it is going to benefit you guys and gals. And the goal for us at ForexAnalytix is making sure that you guys and gals that support us will get all the benefits. And so this way, that we appreciate you all. So that's going to be those changes, and I'll talk more about it once we have everything in place. But I just want you guys to know that we are going to be making a few changes, and it's going to benefit those of you that support us. So thank you. All right, guys, have a great one, and we'll talk to you tomorrow morning on Face or in the chat rooms. All right, guys, have a great one. Thank you all. Thanks, Scott, Raj, Alan, and everybody, Andrew, everybody else listening in. Thanks.